We in here. We in here.
And we are back again. Better than no one. With our low budget podcast, as if Master P, I got the hookup, was a podcast, it'd probably be our podcast. Go for the podcast, featuring the moderator, Game.
Are we the early 90s no limit of podcasts? Is that
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I want to be mystical because I just really want to yell shit. What's up, everybody? Welcome. As usual, we got the squad here. We got Lou, fearless leader.
Yes.
Ant,
What?
who's not going to speak English all night. And T.
What up?
All right, so we are just going to get straight into it tonight. We got 3 new topics we're going to talk about. Hopefully, we can keep everybody entertained. All right, so Ant sent out a list earlier today, and the list was basically movies that had plot twists at the end that just blew your mind. And some of them were mind-blowing, a lot of them were not. So I'm going to twist it a little bit and ask, what movie ending pissed you off the most? Like, it could have been a movie that you saw 15, 20 years ago, but every time you think about the ending, you just start getting mad all over again. Maybe I'll go first because I have that right.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm going to say it was The Village. And I didn't get pissed off because, well, for anybody who hasn't seen The Village looks like it's set in, like, I don't know, Pilgrim times. Like,
The 1800s.
Sure, the 1800s. They don't have any electricity. They're very
Black people.
puritanical. There weren't any black people. I thought there were none. I guess there weren't.
People.
There weren't any black people. You know, they handmade all their clothes. They farmed and stuff. And there's this one little blind girl who falls in love with this guy who ends up getting severely hurt. And the whole village sends her out on this journey to the nearest town so that she can get the proper medicine to help her sick boyfriend, fiance person. And so at the end of the movie, you find out that the village is not set in the 1800s at all. It is set in modern day. The adults of the village just decided that they wanted to separate themselves from the modern world because there was too much pain and tragedy that had happened to all of them. So what pisses me off about this ending was any one of those fucking adults could have gone out and got the medicine in 60 minutes or less. These fucking assholes sent this poor little blind girl out here, and then who the fuck tortured her? No, it was the brother, the special brother, chased her down in a monster costume and ended up dying because she thought it was a real monster. She couldn't see what it was because they filled these kids' heads with there are monsters out there, and anytime the color red shows, the monsters are going to come. So we have to stamp out all the red. Like, that was just
the devil's color. Isn't that y'all believe? The devil's color.
Oh, was that their reasoning for it, or I just thought they just had to have something?
I'm mad that he said, "Is that what y'all believe?" I chose not to comment after he said that.
Probably head to toe clad in red right now.
Damn, you're right. Because the whole purpose of the movie is that they want to ruin their society. So why don't they just walk a couple miles
to
get
save
the
someone's
medicine and
life?
walk back?
To say, like, one
Thought they
person,
were Amish. People thought they were Amish.
one
back.
person could have walked out and could have walked through the woods, hopped over that little fence, and been like, "Hey, can I get some cortisone? Thank you."
It's called commitment, King.
They were tired of taking care of that blind girl. They wanted her to die.
They really wanted her to die, and they wanted that little pretty boy son to die too.
Yeah.
They were trying to get rid of the whole lot of them.
She can't play no instruments like normal blind people. She can't play no instruments. She didn't she wasn't able to fight crime and learn how to use her blindness to beat villains. Like, she was a useless blind person.
In her defense, though, they
Wait,
raised
what?
her in a place with nothing. They
I
didn't
do
have
not
any
support
instruments
it.
for her to
I don't
play.
support that whole blonde statement Lucas just said, especially since we're an audio podcast.
No, I said she was a useless blind person. Not that
You-
all blind people are useless.
your
Most blind people
criteria-
are very talented,
Your
and they
criteria
can play
lets you a blind
piano,
swordsman or daredevil.
and they do awesome '60s R&B music. At least the two blind
Okay.
people I know.
So in Lucas's mind, every blind person is Daredevil, Ray Charles, or Stevie Wonder.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
I do not support those statements. Feel free to listen. with
So
your
you're saying
glorious
blind people
ears.
aren't talented, Ant? Is that what you're saying?
You're not gonna win this one, Ant. Just
I'm saying that you don't have to have a talent to be special. I appreciate y'all blindness. You just being who you are special.
and she
Dun,
was
dun,
special,
dun, dun.
Lou, because somehow she made her little blind ass way
And she was
out
brave.
of those woods and over that fence, got
little
the
boy would've
medicine
died,
that
it
they
was amazing.
needed.
I'd let that little boy die. Like,
I would have
what?
sat Indian style right in the middle of the circle and been like, nope, you better pick somebody else.
I don't really know.
He dies.
Okay, who wants to go next?
Well, since you spoke on M. Night Shyamalan directed that movie, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
I had a hard time deciding between two, and since you said that one, I'm gonna go with Signs. Signs pissed me off. The whole movie made no sense to me because they're like, if you don't know, the movie is about pretty much aliens invading, and like most of the M. Night Shyamalan movies, you're expecting a twist, and you didn't know whether this was true or really perception or not. And they get to it, and yeah, there's aliens exist and they're invading, but they're allergic to water. So what invading race like conquerors come to a planet that's mostly covered in something you're highly allergic to, and with no kind of protection suits, nothing like that? Just that was the worst plan ever. We deserve to conquer their planet. We should have found out where they live and sent Lucases after them. Sent a whole crew of Lucases.
Ain't nobody like Lucas but Lucas.
Just send me, King. That's all you need to do.
You know, they deserved it.
I
You
kinda
go off
believe
with a
that,
super
Lou.
soaker and rule the planet in like a few weeks.
And then I'll send the planet back to Earth to take over the Earth. After I
And
make
that's why we can't do nothing with you, Lucas.
That's when Lou has to die.
Tried to give you something, gave you a whole planet, and you wanted more. I just wanted
Never
you
gave y'all
gone.
niggas power. All right, Lou, you're up.
Passion of the Christ.
What? That shouldn't be
Best piece of fiction I've ever read.
okay.
Science fiction.
We here at the Draw for Squadcast do not share the views of Ant. They are his views and his views alone. I love you, Jesus. Go ahead, Lou.
Actually, I'm not gonna say Passion of the Christ because that wasn't true. The ending was okay.
Isn't it the greatest story ever told?
It is, but I wanted to expand more than where it ended at. I understood why they wanted to end it there, but I didn't want it to end there.
Where'd you want it to end, Lucas? I'm curious.
After the resurrection, like it ended as they opened the tomb up and he wasn't there. I wanted more. I just wanted more of the movie. That's it.
Oh. You wanted more dead Jesus? That's what you're saying?
No, it's living Jesus after he gets out the tomb, King.
But it's called The Passion of the Christ.
That wasn't
Okay, and I wanted to see the
it wasn't
resurrection.
called the Well, you should have asked Mel to make another movie. You should have got a whole pack of niggers to go over there, like Mel said.
He was going to make a movie, but then Jews got in the way.
Oh, again.
We here at the Draw for Squadcast do not
Early said
share
that.
the views of Lou.
Damn it, Mel Gibson had those views, not me.
Okay, you should definitely make that clear when
I'm
you say
pro-Semitic.
that.
I am pro-Semitic. I love Jews.
But
I'm chosen ones and all that. Y'all got that flat bread.
This is going so wrong so quickly.
it is.
I really thought this was going to be a simple topic.
It's hard because I see way too many movies in a year to pick one, but I'm gonna go all the way back and pick 2001: Space Odyssey because I saw that like 2 years ago, and the ending frustrated me. Because at the end of the movie, It transforms with the main character, Dr. Bowman, dying on his bed, and as he's dying on the bed, you see a floating fetus in front of him, and he reaches out to grab the fetus, and it's supposed to have this very, very deep, unnecessary meaning for that movie. The movie was great. The movie still is great, but unfortunately, it drops from being like a top 10 all-time movie to like just a great movie because of a horrible ending.
So the deep ending ruined the movie for you.
The deep ending ruined the movie for everybody, but they tried to expand too much on some of the concepts that they had built in the movie, and because I don't feel like explaining this whole fucking movie, let's just say the ending was stupid.
Okay.
That's a lot better than I thought. I thought you were going to talk about monkeys and people being, and you didn't like the monkeys and the blackness
But
of them. Or
we're talking about endings.
Of the way
so-
the Space Odyssey ends is just the transformation of human beings, and from one era to the next, and how this is the evolutionary step in being a human being. It was so fucking much.
Okay. Alright. We are going to move along to T before we just get completely blackballed.
Blackball.
well,
Sexist shit is that?
you got the wrongest. You got the wrongest
Go
there.
on, T.
I'm kind of like Lou. I watch a lot of movies in a year, not as much as Lou, but I don't really have one ready. But I'm going to say, Interstellar was not necessarily disappointing ending. It was just like, it felt like they tried to do too much.
Bookcases everywhere.
Yeah, it was like, it made sense only in that movie. Like outside of that movie, I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. Like, it was a great long ass marathon of a movie. Maybe great is strong, but the ending just kind of left you like, wait a minute, he was the ghost. It's because he went back in time. You can go back and forward in time. It was just too much for me. Like,
It was unnecessary. Like, just your whole thing
yeah.
had emotional weight with that daughter growing up in that video. Like,
Yeah.
I was getting all teary-eyed. Like, I felt
Really?
that. Yeah, when he was talking to his daughter, I mean, and seeing her grow up, like, I was empathizing. I was like, that would break me. Like, that would, nah. And then, like, her giving up, like, your daughter giving up on you, and like, you failed
her
her.
like Bob Knight should have gave up. You loser. Get it together.
I missed the title that T said. What?
Interstellar. King.
Stellar.
And
Were you
Oh.
trying to figure it out this whole time? Were you trying to figure out
I
the movie?
was.
Like,
I was
bookshelves?
like, I don't. What,
Space?
what? Daughter? Time
Like
travel?
bookshelves?
Doctor
What is
Who?
time travel?
What?
Actually, that's a good choice. That's a great guess, Key. Great case. Yeah, that, actually,
But I was thinking about that one
would
too.
have made
Jake,
more
as my
sense
movie
in
would have been
Doctor Who than this.
Interstellar. I was thinking about that too.
Cool.
I was thinking
All right.
about life's in
The
the
Martin Lawrence movie with Eddie Murphy.
Yes, that whole movie depressed me. Like, I get on my social warrior jukebox, like, this ain't a happy ending. This is how the system took these people whole life. They had a
But
family,
they
and
were
a future.
free at the end, though.
Huh?
They were
They
free
about to
at the
die in
end.
2 years, Key.
But they got to they got to die free, and
And
They
who,
got
and
to
who
die
paid for that
free.
apartment? Who bought them those tickets? They ain't got no.
Damn it, Ant, you're just all negative.
That's a negative ass ending. Negative ass ending. Oh,
Hey,
nah.
one of the movies on the list was what was the name of that joint? American Psycho. What was
Oh.
confusing about that? What was confusing about the ending of that?
Because the book is crazy as hell, and they tried to represent the. All right, so
no movie. What was
No,
yeah. So
confusing
the
about
movie
Yep.
at the end is confusing as whether or not this is real or not. Like, whether or not all this is just happening in this guy's head, or
really?
whether he really killed people. And the book is written nonsensical, so I think they just kind of smushed that together and kind of put that at the end of the movie.
Okay, so people confused with the people who read the book.
I think the it's just stupid. I mean, that's just for my. The ending should have been. It was kind of like a cop out to me. Like, nothing happened. Like, nothing happened in the ending. There was no consequences, no real payoff.
okay.
Unless I'm confusing it too.
No, I
Okay,
think
so
you're
we're
right.
gonna move on to the next one. So we all ended up watching a TV show that apparently had been on for the last year, and
None of
Lou
you niggas
realized it.
watched.
I didn't realize it. I had absolutely no interest, and then I was flipping through Netflix this weekend and ended up binge watching The Good Life, which stars Ted Danson and I don't even know the actress's name. I've been calling her Veronica Mars all
Mhm.
weekend long.
Oh, you great job, moderator. Great job, there.
It's what I do.
Didn't
It's what
even
I
know the
do.
damn actress's
Hey,
name.
hey, I'm not supposed to be the only one researching shit.
Jim Bell. She's married to Dak Shepard in real life.
Mhm.
There you go.
Doc who?
Christian Bale? Is that what you said?
Kristen.
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
If
So
that
it
was him in
stars.
a good place, my God, he's the best actor ever, Joe.
Oh, so Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. I knew Ted Danson. I get points for that. Basically, the whole premise of the
Sorry.
show.
Should we not spoil it for people if they haven't seen it? Or like I
Damn,
don't.
this show has literally been out for a year.
Oh, okay.
This is not a new show.
So you know what? We'll give a warning right here. We're about to spoil the fuck out of this show. So
Yes.
if you have intentions on watching it and
And you haven't?
and you need it to be fresh, then
You basic.
yeah. I'd say skip ahead about 10 minutes. And that should help.
Shit,
you out.
10 minutes? Do you not know us? Skip
20,
30 minutes.
We only spoiled everything we've talked about so far. Like,
Right. If
if
it's
you
a
got
shock to
this
you
far
by
in the
now,
podcast and you not expecting spoilers, like,
That's
You
on you,
basically-
T. That's what you're saying. That's on them.
Yes.
and it is.
That's on
That's
the
your
deaf
bad.
audience.
It's in the description of the video. Like,
and no, Lou, we will not talk about this for 30 minutes because I will be off of here at 8 o'clock because then I have to go get pretty so I can head out to support.
You always
DJ.
pretty, King.
So pretty.
You
Aw,
always
thanks, Aunt.
pretty.
black lipstick.
No, no, I'm not wearing black lipstick.
Wow.
I'm not
What?
offering pussy parmesan to anybody.
Wait,
I
I'm,
what?
want to say.
Is-
Yes, that's
is
what
that
black
thing?
lipstick means.
Oh my God! I gotta go.
I'm going out to support my friend DJ Blackberry as she spends on the ones and twos
Advertisements
tonight.
to other people.
Okay,
No, we
says
just
the
asked
man
DJ
who
Blackberry.
advertised
DJ
his own.
Blackberry.
Yes, DJ Blackberry
She had
at
a nice
Avery.
flyer. A really
She
nice
did.
top on.
Oh wait, what?
She is a mother.
When
Calm
topless,
down.
Anthony. Damn it.
You calm down.
Wait, is the mother thing like a turn off or a turn on? Is that supposed to be a turn off? That's supposed to be like calm down.
I
So,
would hope
The
not.
Good Life is about a young woman played by Kristen Bale, Eleanor. She wakes up in a strange place, realizes that she has died and gone to the good place, which is heaven. She's all happy. And then after a little bit, getting a tour, seeing her dream house and her dream situation, she realizes that they have the wrong person and she's not supposed to be there. So she then meets her soulmate. What's her soulmate's name, Lou?
Cheaty. Cheaty. It is
Cheaty?
cheaty. I said
It
it
is
right,
Cheaty.
damn it.
Cheaty. She meets her soulmate, Cheaty, and confides in him.
Wait,
Well,
are there D's in Chibi's name? Because I've been reading Chibi. It's not Chibi?
It's
I thought it was Cheaty. With a
Cheaty.
T, like duck.
C.
But does it actually have D's in the spelling?
G-I. Yes.
Oh, I'm dyslexic as hell.
Spelling.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. So she confides in him that
One
she's
letter
not-
dyslexic.
There are different levels, T. Different levels.
Okay.
I'm gonna get through the synopsis. She confides in him that she's not supposed to be there, but because he, in his life before he died, he was a morality and ethics professor. He vows to help her become a better person so that she can stay there and fit in. But because she's not supposed to be there, there's all these upsets in the atmosphere. It rains giant shrimp. the architect, who is like the head angel of this particular area, tries to make everything right by kicking a dog into the sun. Shit gets crazy.
Have you ever heard the gospel song "Shifting in the Atmosphere"? I don't know why that popped into my head right there.
I've never heard that song. I
no.
pretty much guarantee I've never heard that song.
If it ain't by BB and CC, I probably haven't heard it. Nope.
You know what? Y'all heathens. That's what I
Yeah, I just pleaded the fifth without
Okay, so you get through the show, and at the end, should I tell the end, or do you guys want to talk about it a little bit and then
Let's work through it.
Okay, let's work through it. So Lou, how did you feel about it?
I'm sorry. I realized something. We're just gonna continue with this right now, as I realized I did something I shouldn't have did. But The Good Place.
Talk about Jewish people?
No.
Talk about blind people? None of that. Okay. Go ahead, Lou.
The Good Place. I think I binged it in one whole day because it's only 13 episodes, 30-minute episodes. Kristen Bell. Fuck you, Aunt.
Veronica Mars.
Veronica. Fuck it. That's
Eleanor.
Veronica. Eleanor was dope until she got irritating.
Mm-hmm.
Like after a while with that character, it's like you want her to go to the bad place because she just gets so irritating until like I'd say the 5th or 6th episode. In the corner to become a better person. Chidi is also irritating because he can't make up his mind about a motherfucking thing. The tall, sexy lady, King, what's her name?
I was just trying to think about it.
She's
also with a T.
I have tahini in my head, but I know it's
tahini?
not tahini. Tahini is the sauce, and her parents misspelled her name on the will. It's
Well, all I'm gonna say is, like, I really identify with that character a lot.
The tall, sexy one?
the
Yes,
With the
fancy ass
legs?
extra character.
yes,
And
yes,
the little
yes.
Pakistani
Yeah.
with English.
We have so much in common. She's an awesome character.
So,
Wait, what do y'all have in common?
What'd you say, T?
We're fancy, man. Son of a bitch. Don't worry about it. But between her, Han, what's that dude name? The Buddhist monk?
Yanyu?
Filipino.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jean Yu.
Or Jason.
Jason was the quiet part of him was awesome. When he got to talking though, he got irritating as fuck. Real
Annoying as
weird.
hell.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's annoying
Janice
on purpose.
is the best character on this freaking show.
Yes.
Amazing
Yes.
on
Janet.
this show.
Janet?
Robot,
the-
Android,
Janet.
database thing.
Yeah.
Janet.
Is it Janet or Janice?
We messed up
Janet.
all these names, and I watched this in subtitles.
Yeah. She even gave her a black name so you could remember it, nigga. Janice.
And what was your name, huh? Janice with a
Well, you know
nose.
what? If she gave herself a black name, it should have been Janice. Because that made me she looks like a Janice, not a Janet.
Her
She
real
was
name
awesome.
Darcy.
That actress.
But she's awesome in here playing the all-knowing robotish thing of The Good Place.
Mhm.
Such a dope part.
The
Ted
operating
Danson was
system.
kind of cool in it. I could do
He
I
got-
could do with the time was
Yeah.
without him.
Yeah, he could have been in there less, I think.
Yeah. But the name recognition, so they needed somebody that big of a star to be in there.
But they had Veronica Mars.
Nigga, you don't even know her name.
Cheers been off the air for like 2 decades, and we know Ted Danson.
Exactly. Didn't Ted Danson
Fine.
yell at his daughter while eating cheeseburgers?
Mhm.
No,
I mostly
That
remember
was
him.
I thought it was
Michael
Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff.
David
Yeah.
Hasselhoff did that.
Drunk on the
And I
floor.
said Michael Hasselhoff. This is a horrible show. I apologize, listeners. This is the most uninformed episode yet.
Y'all might need to fact check everything we say from now on.
Clearly, because we ain't got nothing right. Cheaty, I got that right. Yes, I got that.
Just-
Who the fork is Michael Hasselhoff?
because he was Michael Knight on Knight Rider.
So
Maybe because Ted Danson's
you
name was
combined
Michael.
his real
I
name
combined
and his fake name.
his
By the way,
fake name
points
and-
T, points.
For fork?
Yeah,
Fork, yeah.
for fork's sake.
We should try
Good
that.
shirt, T. Good shirt.
Except
Yeah, I have
was
found that I've
gonna
been
say,
doing
why
that.
the fuck I couldn't say fork? It just whatever.
I wonder what they replace nigga with. Or we have to say nigga all the time.
I don't think that you would be allowed to say it at all. I just
I
think
don't
you
think-
refer to a person as a person.
Wouldn't they just say Negro if you try to say nigga? Literally.
No.
But yeah, I guess the other thing is you don't really feel the need. I don't think you feel the need to say it though. In heaven.
your concept of God is kind of racist, but you know, maybe. What?
Nope.
Whose
nope,
concept
okay.
of God is?
So
Yo,
And-
yo, Keem, it's your fault.
what were your thoughts about the show? Leaving
So-
out your concepts, your thoughts on heaven and hell and God.
Oh, leaving
and
out all my
religion.
concepts of heaven now? Okay.
Every last one of them. Yep.
Like-
All right. Well, I want to say first of all that around episode 2, I think I figured out the plot of the whole thing.
You
And so I'm
did,
like
you
real
bastard.
time texting Keem as I'm watching this, like, you know what? I would be doing this situation right now, and y'all wouldn't be listening to me, and y'all wouldn't listen to me at all. I know this to be true. That's pretty much. Well, I'm not gonna skip ahead, but so I liked it. It was kind of quirky and offbeat. The humor was really great. I don't know. Was her name Janet, Janice, whatever her name is?
With a T.
I don't-
Janet.
Like I don't know what comedian she is. I don't know whatever she's been on anything else, but they cast her perfectly. And every time she came on the screen, she pretty much stole it. She tried to steal the show. I loved all the characters too, because you got a certain visual, you got a certain outward look at them, and then when you went deeper, you saw there was demeanor versus nature, and you saw how insecure the perfect one was, and how she made everybody else like it was just really great. I loved the monk when he was just a monk. When he came Jason, he warmed me within that first episode. Like it was. I missed the Janube guy, but I did love some
stereotype of Asians. I did not like him.
I love Filipinos, but I don't know.
But I didn't like the stereotype of it. I didn't like that.
Is that a stereotype of Filipinos?
Hmm?
That stereotype of Filipinos?
No, just the Asian stereotypes they were giving him. Like no one knew his real race.
That's kind of true, though. That's kinda
But
true.
you know what? He actually said that. He was like, they're saying that I'm a Tibetan monk, but I'm really Filipino, and this is kind of
This is kind of racist.
Yeah.
That was kind of good. And he figured it out. He figured it out in the second episode too, right? Or the fourth episode.
He figured out pretty quickly what was happening.
Yeah. I love when he placed his hand on Ted Danson's heart. And he's like, "Oh yes." He's like, "Well, how did that hand thing work?" "Oh, the nurses used to do it to me." Like, I love that. They had like little weird quirk things, like the judge with the cocoon when you mentioned feelings, like the business lady from the '80s. Like I love that whole thing. This was a show that could not do an hour, but I'm glad it had 30-minute like just intervals. You know what I mean? They didn't even waste time with the credits. The credits
Was
were
it
rolling
real
while-
30 minutes or was it
It's probably like 20 something because
22
without
minutes.
commercials.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
22 and a half.
So these little short bursts, and even when the credits were rolling, they were wrapping up a scene. Like they knew what it was, they got it in, and if you wanted to watch the next episode, it was great. There were cliffhangers, but not really long cliffhangers. And I'm actually interested to see what they do. I mean, I know we don't want to ruin it now, right?
Why not, nigga?
All right,
Really?
so
Because
so at
we
the
said we
end-
were going to build. That's
okay.
why, Lou.
all right, I'm really interested to see what concept they
I
come
didn't
up
know
with
we
for
were gonna do
next.
Yeah, how they gonna go to the next season? Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm wondering how it's going to view now that we have this different perception of what how the good place operates.
Right.
I have enough to
Okay. Okay. T, or do you want to go last?
No, I'm good. So I'm gonna give a little tip to the listeners. Watch like 3 or 4 episodes.
What was
And-
that?
I don't know what Lou is doing. Watch 3 or
He
4
said he's giving a little
episodes,
tip to the viewers, listeners.
listeners. It's
We have to donate to the Blind American Association or something after this.
It was actually much better to listen to the show than to watch the show, and it's much better at work than it is at home. Like, it's not a bad show, but I found it much more interesting to hear the conversations than to watch them, because they weren't really doing much in the show. Missing anything. I kind of seen like a little bit from thumbnails that was on the bottom of my screen, but for the most part, I just listened to the last 6 episodes or something like that today, actually. I thought Kristen Bell was great. She did get annoying, but I think they brought it back in the end. Like, she kind of calmed down a little bit. And I think the more annoying part of her, like who she was out, like when she was alive. And I think that was kind of on purpose, in my opinion, because she was becoming a better person. But
She was
outside
my
of
mean
that,
soulmate. I loved her.
yeah, she was. I mean, but at the same time, she was kind of a jerk. Like, some of the parts, it was like sometimes when, what's his name, Chidi, sometimes when he would talk, I was like, this sounds like Ant. Then it was it was like, and that's when I was just listening to it until he got like deep into like, whenever he would go on like rants, I was like, this is Ant like shit. And then,
Damn.
but with Kristen, and Kristen would do like some forked up stuff, I'd be like, this kind of Lou, right? This is kind of Lou right here. And then with the not caring, it was definitely me and Keem. So it was like, it kind of had all of us in that one character. So I really loved her character. I thought we could have did a lot less with Ted Danson.
Y'all are in one character and I'm in Chibi?
Can't even get his name right.
He keeps on calling him Chibi.
A chibi
She
is
did
the
love to
little
drink.
cutesy anime characters, and his name is Chidi with a D,
Oh.
not
Yeah, I was
Chibi.
thinking I'd love to hang out with her. But she was like, when she was at the bar, I was like, yes.
I was gonna
And
say
that's
that
what
was
would make
probably
you
the
cheaty.
part that relates to you, is that she liked to drink. But
I like to drink.
outside of that, I didn't see much in it. But Ted Danson, I thought we could have did a lot less. We could have got a lot less of. I thought the tall
Tahani.
Tahani, I thought she was a little annoying in the beginning, but like her character started coming out more towards the middle and end of the show. And like y'all said, I think y'all nailed it. Janet was probably the best character. She kind of reminded me of Flo from Progressive. Like, for some reason, she was giving off that vibe to me. But I don't know. I like this show. I'm kind of interested to see where they're going to go with the second season. And the devil, basically, from the Dark Place, he literally had like, what, 2 episodes? Where
He was great.
Yeah, he was pretty dope. He showed up off the black ass train and kicked over one chair. He was like, when you get on the train and we going back to the bad place, he was like, it's hot in here, but every time you think about it, it's gonna get 1 degree hotter.
That was the pettiest shit in the world.
Yeah, I was
Think
like,
about it. Yeah.
yeah.
He
And I was
told
like,
her to smile, and he gave that other lady warm beer.
but then the warm beer was at the medium place too. Like, the medium place was mediocre as hell. I was like, the medium place sounds worse than hell. And it was like they couldn't have sex because she was a robot. She was like, I'm not a robot. And then what's her name was just masturbating every day. She was like, I just passed out on top of my vibrator. But wasn't
Wait, who said
but
that?
no. I think
No,
it was
okay.
actually
So that was a flashback to this. Okay, so
Yeah,
this is
that
why
was-
you should
right.
probably watch it just
No,
before,
no.
before
Because I was
Eleanor
about to
died.
I was
They
about
had
to
the
say that was
flashback
probably
of how Eleanor died. She was at a grocery store buying Lonely Girl margarita mix. And the checkout girl asked, like, what are your plans for the weekend? And she was like, I'm going to drink all of this margarita. I'm going to watch a bunch of movies. And then I'm going to pass out on my vibrator. Like,
right.
Yeah, but I will notice that Janet was offering porn in the Good Place. So, like, I was like, how
Because
about
they
that
couldn't
porn?
track your search history, so she said, "Well, what kind of porn would you like to see?"
She is going to be the breakout side character of that show. Like, to me, like, that's You know what I mean? Like, there's always these side characters. Like, I like every time they show up.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I wanted to see more of the Bad Place.
Me too.
Before we actually got to the end where we figured stuff out, but I kind of wanted to see more of the Bad Place because it sounded interesting. Like just seeing different ways they're going to torture people. It kind of reminded me of Lil Nicky in a little way. Like the way they were describing it felt like Lil Nicky. But other than the ending, that was my thoughts on listening to the show.
Did you also notice how they would mention like things that cost really big special effects to be like, nah, we can't do that. It's like, I can give you more tongues. Or can I fly? Nah, we can't fly again for another 1,000 years.
Yeah, it was smart. It was a good way to talk about it, but not do it though. So of course, I like the show, which is why I recommended everybody else watch it. I think what I liked the most about it was when they did the flashbacks and showed how the people became to be who they were. For instance, Tahani, who just annoyed the fuck out of me the whole time because she kept name dropping and just being extra prissy. And I just kept yelling, how the fuck does she make it to heaven? She's so pretentious. But then you kind of go back and you see that all she ever really wanted to do was impress her parents. And no matter what great things she did, her sister, like no matter what her sister did, it was always going to be better. So she could be like, oh yeah, I collected $2 million for this charity. And they'd be like, yeah, but your sister just sold a painting. Yeah.
You embarrassed us with this $5 million.
You've embarrassed the whole family with this failure. You know what to do.
You know what you have to do.
You know what to do, Rico. Just called her sister. Her sister looked like a dick too. Like it was.
Yeah, that was bad. So then you kind of feel for her, like, well, damn, all she really wanted to do was make her parents happy. And then you see Eleanor's story, and you see how, basically from a young age, she's really just been on her own, and it kind of caused her to shut everybody out and think less of people. Like she always saw the bad in people, even when people were like trying to be.
Oh, she's my evil soulmate. She's my evil soulmate.
Yeah. Like when her roommate was like, I'll get everybody's tickets, and she's like, no, I'm not gonna let you get my tickets so you can get all the points. Like, okay, well then you get everybody's tickets. Oh, so that everybody can get into the movies for free and not pay me back? No, I'll get my own tickets. So
you know what a good day? You know what a good day? That guy that kept like giving him flyers like save the earth and do all this other stuff because she said the meanest shit to him before she got killed in the most embarrassing way.
Yeah. And then you see how John Yu / Jason, his dumbass, you see how he died in a fucking safe with a snorkel doing whippets. And Chidi, you see how his indecision killed him in the end, and how all of that stuff just ended up carrying over into their afterlife. Which kind of made the ending make sense. So we're ready for the big reveal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So at the end, we find out. Well, Eleanor, Janet, and Jason end up stealing a train for the the head angel. They end up stealing his train and going to the medium place where they plan to live forever. But the head angel sends a message out that says, if y'all don't bring your asses back here, we're going to send all of your friends to the bad place in your place. So they get back, but they get back a little bit too late. They don't meet the deadline. The head angel basically says, well, now 2 of you still have to go. So y'all decide who it is that's going to go. So they all start arguing. They're trying to figure out who's going to go, who's not going to go. And then Eleanor stops and is like, we don't have to choose. We're not going to choose. And they're like, well, why? And then she looks and she says, because we're already in the bad place. And I think that might be one of my favorite scenes, kind of like in Superman, where he falls and his hand falls into the fire. And then Lois looks at him and is like, wait a minute, you are Superman. And like his posture changes and everything. So in this show, when she says we are in the bad place, and for a second, Ted Danson looks all bewildered, like, oh my God, what is she? And then like this evil smile comes across his face and he's like, damn it. I thought
Yeah.
that we could trick you for a little bit longer.
1,000 years. He bet.
Yeah.
And it was worth it to see. It was worth having Ted Danson through all that just to have him do that transformation on screen right there. Like
Yeah,
that was
before
great.
then, again, he wasn't a necessary character really before then. But then you're like, oh, you mother.
Right, and you see his peon off his job and his big break, and he was like, it was cool. It was quirky. Even that was quirky with the
Yeah.
rock lava monster and everything like that.
Yeah. So even
But-
his backstory gave good context.
What frustrated me because I love that, but I saw this all happening back in episode 2, and I'm like texting Keen is like.
And I couldn't say anything. All I could say was, would stop analyzing everything and watch the fucking show, Ant, because if I would be like, you ruined everything. Yeah, y'all niggas analyze everything. Just watch the damn show, even though, I mean, in my own way.
But see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You
I
couldn't
know.
help
Well,
but see
I was saying in my own way, I kept yelling, like me and my New York were sitting here watching it, and I kept yelling to him, how the fuck did she make it to heaven? He's like, I know, right? So
No, I was
I
like, I
think-
wouldn't trust this system. Ted Danson don't act right. I was like, I'd have to.
None
find
of them
out.
had qualities that would land them in what the show perceives as having.
Well,
Right.
I think they tried to convince us with two
With the
of
point
the four.
system.
Two of the four, though, because
Right.
it was. Actually, no, you're right, Lou. Because even the good one, I'm not gonna remember her name.
Tahani.
Tahani.
Yeah, she was still like kind of condescending and shit. But you just figure if they got points for good stuff they did, she said she did a lot of good stuff, but we didn't know she was lying.
But
Well, no,
she-
what- remember the
she was
origi-
telling the truth.
Right.
It was just that she didn't do good for the sake of doing good. She did
She
good
did it.
because she was trying to look better in her parents' eyes.
Yeah,
It was
she
for her
had a-
own
And
Well,
that
self.
wasn't the
motive to
original
do good.
premise. That wasn't the original premise that we were told, because he was saying just whatever action you do, however much good it creates in the world, you get points for that. And then even the 80s lady, she got points for her idea that went out in the world. You know what I mean? Like they were like, oh, we don't know, okay, we got to put her in the
No,
middle.
but she got so much points for it, but they still wanted to put her in the bad place.
yeah,
Hey,
but
okay.
She ended up somewhere much, much worse.
where they
How do you
messed
have
up is when
one
they
person
saw.
in purgatory? One person.
What?
One person in purgatory.
Oh, what I really loved was like, so who was right? Christians were 5% right, Buddhists were 5%
Right.
right.
I knew that was
Jews-
your favorite part.
It was. It's like, you know who? I can't
As
remember
soon
the
as I
guy's
heard
name.
it, I was like,
He said,
this is
but
the
they
part
got
that
92% of it right. Like,
He got
they-
high one day off of mushrooms in his front ass, and we couldn't believe it. He's like, I'm about to have this picture. I was like, this is my favorite part of this whole show. I love this
No,
show.
because
man.
when Ant had started before I did, he was like, I think I could go with this show. And then I heard that part. I was like, this is the part that Ant
And you
said
knew that was the exact
I knew
moment.
it was the exact moment.
at this
Okay.
moment,
But you know what my hell would
really
be?
enjoyed this
My
show.
hell would be that I would figure
Tell me
this
that.
out in the second episode, and y'all wouldn't even talk. Y'all wouldn't even believe me.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what
go
your
on.
hell would be? No, that's not your hell.
It would be.
No, no, no.
Oh,
Your hell would be
not
something
today. Not
with
today.
no alcohol.
Please don't.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Curse.
Oh,
That was a curveball.
Yeah.
wait.
And that Jesus is real and you have no alcohol. That's your hell.
Oh, but if Jesus is real, he can make me alcohol. Like, it all works out.
But
And
you're in
everything-
hell. But
and
you're in
everything-
hell, Ant.
He refuses to do it. Instead, he gives you water.
No, instead he
your
gives
wine-
you
he turns your
O'Doul's.
wine into
Yes.
water.
Oh,
He
He
dude.
gives you O'Doul's. He gives you non-alcoholic beer.
No.
O'Doul's and Zima.
Oh no, the 90s.
Okay, Lou, what would your hell be? Mute your mic
Superman
while
go
you're
around
whimpering,
telling-
Ant.
Does Superman go around telling people what's his weakness? Keem, I'm not telling you what my hell is going to be. Don't want nobody getting no bad ideas.
Lou, I can't create your hell. What? Okay, a humorous
Basicness.
hell.
Lose hell would be basicness.
Lou's hell would be
People
having to wear a
walking around.
condom every time he got to fuck.
Uh, while that would be unpleasant, it wouldn't necessarily be hell. It would just be a little unpleasant.
He's like,
But you'd have to wear a condom on everything. Your fingers.
I wouldn't mind that. I don't like touching people.
Okay.
My hell would be no movies. I couldn't survive. That shit would blow me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No form of entertainment. There you go.
So you
Just
just be
like
sitting there.
me sitting in a room all day and doing nothing.
He probably have a bunch of beer. I can see him in my hell.
I would masturbate every day like that woman did in the media place.
You get all the porn you want, but it's like bestiality porn. Like you don't want that.
Hey, after a while, you'd learn to enjoy anything.
It wouldn't even be that bad anymore.
Get it,
Oh,
Flipper.
God.
Get it, Flipper.
T.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What would
What
your
my
hell be?
be?
Yeah.
It would be being handcuffed to somebody who talks a lot. And I would have to respond. Like, I'm forced to respond. Like, I can't make any more movements until I respond to this person. Like, my hell would just be some type of world where I have to listen to people and talk to people all day.
Oh, your head would be a constant conversation.
Oh, you thought
Every
about this?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
No,
I
found out.
I'm like Batman in that movie with
I
Justice League.
found out when y'all found out, so I didn't know about it. And I had a late start to this, but no, like having to make every decision I make has to be a group decision. Like I need to get majority vote on every single thing I do.
Oh,
That will be my
And you
hell.
always fall one vote short.
right, because there's always that one person
It
that
don't
would be
even
like,
matter.
well,
It could be one vote short because the results is not my hell. My hell is having to sit there and discuss things with people in order to make a decision. Like y'all know me. I'm the type.
You've been in this hell before.
your hell,
Family vacation. Dude.
your hell is my reality when we're trying to decide something for this podcast.
Yeah, it is because that's why I told
I say,
you.
King.
That's why I said bless you, King.
Y'all niggas are indecisive as fuck. That's what I'm trying to say, Lou.
I said God bless you, King.
I'm
God
good. I
bless
went to the
you,
refrigerator, got a
because
beer to make sure I wasn't in hell. It's cold and nice.
It's not ironic that part of my hell happened in Florida though, because I went on a vacation. I'm sorry if anybody listening from Florida, but I went on a vacation in Fort Lauderdale or whatever, and I had all my family there, and I swear they sat there for like 25, 30 minutes trying to figure out what was the first place they were going to eat is going to be, and we just got to the hotel.
I'm surprised you ain't just leave.
I did. I had a car when I got there. I said, I got 3 spots available in my car. Who rolling with me? All the younger people raised their hand. We left. All the other older people like, we can't do it. I can't do it. I can't be a part of wavering group decisions where everyone has to agree before they decide to do something. I'm hungry now. I don't want to deal with y'all shit. I love you, family, but that will be my hell. That will be my hell.
So what y'all just pointed out. So in the show at the end, I don't know if anybody else, caught it. He confirmed that they were all soulmates. Well, I don't know if that was together or whether that was paired off at some point. Yeah, because he said the problem. He said the problem is that we put you to get too close together with your soulmates, and he's like, we gotta spread you out next time. So that means that soulmates are in there, except for maybe Janet and Jason.
Did
you never know.
I thought he said we put the wrong people together as soulmates. I thought that's
Right.
what he said because
When they started over, they had new soulmates.
like he put
No.
he put Eleanor with somebody that was super superficial instead of putting her with someone like you can't put somebody who's like morally bankrupt with ethics professor because it's innate in him to want to like teach her to be a better person, and so that's what ended up happening was he was helping her. So
That brings me to my next point. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, can I? You know what? My hell, moderating this.
Brings me to my next point.
This forking podcast.
This mother forking podcast. When every time I try to say some shirt, I get cut off. That's actually my hell would be being stuck in a room full of people who are eating and they smack. So it's just constant.
Gosh. That
and like having a knife within like like I can almost reach it, but I'm strapped in and I can't quite get to the knife just to stab everybody that's smacking in my ear. Ugh. Maybe that was too violent. Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
Just to
it's been a
point
rough
out,
day.
that was Terrence and Lucas that were smacking.
Can you even picture me making noises with my mouth in the microphone? Can you picture that happening?
He don't make noises when he walks. I know he
Right.
wasn't making
This
noises into the
This
mic.
is true. I think he
Stealth.
might be Batman. It's like
Stealth is fork.
if you stop looking at TV, if for a second, he could be gone.
He will
I've
disappear.
experienced in the dark, comes out nowhere again, make a loud
I would
noise.
definitely walk away. If I sense a minute of awkward silence,
I think because you move slowly every other time, that when you really want to go, it's like super speed. Like that's how I pictured what happened that other night.
And Lucas was right. Da-da.
What?
Yeah, we ended up talking about the show for about 30 minutes. I just looked at.
But you. Oh, God.
Yeah.
it's also 7:58.
Yeah.
But you know what was? Oh.
So do y'all? And we'll make a collective decision here. You know what, T? I'm gonna let you lead the collective decision.
Nope. Last topic.
Do you want to make this the last topic, or do you
Absolutely.
want to move on? Okay.
And my recommendation to you, Keem, as the moderator, to avoid
You don't fucking ask that question and you just do it.
Not just that, but I would start with myself every single time if I'm throwing it around the room. Sorry, because you just did the what are we calling it? Your soliloquy. You did this,
Soliloquy.
you're doing the soliloquy, so you might as well throw your 2 cents in while you're doing it.
I concur.
That's true. I try to do.
So, Kate, we'll all have notes for you at the end of this to make you a better moderator.
That's not what anybody was saying.
No, I didn't say that at all.
I wish you could have seen my face, Lou. Like the way my eyebrows
right
twisted
now.
up. Like, yeah.
Afro,
So,
nice.
on
To
that
be fair.
note,
Do y'all
ladies
realize-
and
Wait, do y'all
gentlemen.
realize that their hell is our
Aunt,
outing drinking?
I have some place to be in like 30 minutes.
No, I was
we're gonna
just
wrap
saying.
this up.
No, I get it. I'm just saying.
We're gonna wrap this the fork up.
that we would be okay. We'd be okay.
No, we wouldn't.
No, we wouldn't, because it would be a different hell for us.
I'd be good in their hell, but you're right. Not
I don't know why they were trying to upset the boat.
All right. So that is it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We will
live
be
ass podcast.
this live podcast.
No,
Oopsies. Yep. So if I'm not mistaken, Lou and T, you guys are gonna do a live movie review tomorrow, or are you not gonna do that anymore?
Anthony's supposed to be there.
Did I get cut out?
Oh, I didn't know if you were gonna make it.
well,
Actually, jury's still
we
out
don't
if
know
you're gonna make it or
light-skinned
not.
people in there.
What are we reviewing?
American Assassin, I believe, is the name of the possibly horrible movie.
Is it raining tomorrow?
Probably. No, it's not.
Your punk ass will not drop this. You know what? No.
All right. So tomorrow, Lou, T, Ant, American Assassin. Yeah. So until then, squad out.
Oh, so that's how we ended it with Squad Out now?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, great
I
job.
don't even see
on that
live
music.
here.
Great, I see it, but great job on that music.
Because I did not end the podcast. I was asking a question.
Oh,
That's your fault, Luke.
yeah.
That really is your fault because everybody
Yeah,
got
what the
quiet.
hell?
Everybody read the room and picked up in the cues except for you.
God damn.
But I really,
No,
I
Luke is
don't
like,
see
you know,
live
in this,
here.
I
I'm sorry. Good night, everybody.
Squad